And that's the fun part of being in the tech industry, where there are certain technologies that are reaching maturity that need to get deployed and show real results. And then we now have essentially an emergence of a completely new set of technology, which I think is going to be a revolutionary.
You say it will be a revolution. I think we all feel it will be a revolution, but there is a certain fear, particularly about artificial intelligence. People feel it dehumanizes us and so on. Now, what steps do we need actually to make sure that those technologies, particularly artificial intelligence, remain society-oriented and human-centered?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great point, and I think a very important consideration, and quite frankly, a design consideration. To your point about the Industrial Revolution, Klaus, I would say, we're still waiting for the Industrial Revolution to reach some large parts of the world 250 years after. The internet maybe took 30 years, maybe the cloud and mobile took 15 years, and now I think we're talking months, which to me, I think is perhaps the benefit. Doesn't mean, to your core question, we shouldn't take something like AI safety as a core consideration right, at the design time. And so therefore, even when we launch these APIs, which we did this week, one of the key things is the APIs have safety built into it for harmful content or the context in which they're used. So a lot of work needs to go into it still, but we think of both the unintended consequences and the benefits both being something that we harness.
So you feel that GPT and similar technology will become very fast, penetrating our lives, business lives, but also personal lives?
Yeah, I think about, we all remember in 2007, 2008, the birth, so that was the last time I would say we had major platforms being born, right? The mobile platform, and the cloud platform. And, in the last 15 years, they've gone mainstream. We're still, I would say, still in the throes of its penetration, but it's significantly understood that this technology is making a real difference. I think that the AI piece and this particular generation of AI is showing that type of, I would say, platform shift. And just to kind of give you an intuition, Klaus, as to what exactly happened. Like, why are we talking about AI in January of 23? After all, we were talking about it last year, but there seems to be, even I had not expected, if you had asked me last month coming to WEF, would I be talking about AI this much? But it turns out that, even the ChatGPT moment has, I think, captured people's imagination. But we started the work with OpenAI, I would say, 3.5 years ago, when we started building the AI supercomputer in Azure to train these large models. So, in fact, the workload or this particular form of AI requires a complete rethink even in the system architecture of the computing infrastructure. And we did that hard work and trained these models. And when you look at GPT-3 to 3.5 to what's coming, these are non-linear developments. So they're showing emergent capability. And I'm not saying this is the last model architecture innovation. There'll be more to come. But the fact is that these things by themselves are becoming platforms that I think truly can make a difference.
Let's see, with the audience, I raise a question. Who of you has made already his own personal experience with GPT?
It's unbelievable.
It shows the sophistication of the audience. Now, there is another technology which we demonstrate here, and we actually do it in cooperation, in partnership with Microsoft and with Accenture. But we have 70, 80 companies in a consortium behind us. It's the Global Collaboration Village, which is the first, probably the first metaverse application for public good. What are your thoughts about it, Satya?
First of all, I think the vision you've had, Klaus, around using this new technology of metaverse and these immersive experiences to bring the world together, to both have that sense of community presence, and collaboration, I think is just absolutely needed, right? I mean, if I think about what is special about Davos, it's about the ability for multiple stakeholders to come, convene, learn, debate, come out of it with energy on what they can do to change the world. And so to some degree, to say that if there's some new technology that can, for example, really bring this global collaboration village to life, where not only can people collaborate when they're here, but it can be an ongoing thing, I think it's fantastic. So I think I would encourage everyone to go see the exhibits, because I feel the thing that is most, for me, game-changing about this particular technology is that sense of presence one has, right? Which is when you're even virtually interacting. I think during the pandemic, all of us obviously did a lot of video meetings. And I think it has definitely got us through the pandemic, and I think they're going to be very much part of our lives. And I think of this as a very natural extension of it, because beyond video meetings, if you can have more immersive experiences where that presence, the co-presence can be felt, you can understand the impact of any of these hard topics that we're talking about, I think that can be pretty game-changing. So I think it's a brilliant idea. I'm glad to be partnered with you on it, and I would really encourage everyone to participate.
Two of the areas, when we first started talking about AI, automation, we thought, it was everyone else's jobs they were coming from, and all the folks in this room, we were like, automation's wonderful, it's going to make my company better. And then all of a sudden we realized, oh, it's, AI is coming for our jobs too, in one sense. Talk about, you're kind of leading the charge on that front. Talk about what you're doing and what your company does, and some of the things that AI is already doing.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Mihir Shukla, CEO and founder, Automation Anywhere. It's a AI and robotic process automation company. We have 5,000 customers in over 90 countries. We today run about 100 million processes with AI, and that is growing double digits every month. So if you think AI is coming, it is already here. So what kind of things that we do that weren't possible before? Maybe that would be a good way to level set it. So if you think about the world, there are about 1 billion knowledge workers. These are the people who are sitting in front of computers, either processing mortgage applications or healthcare claims or supply chain requests. All of us who sit, considerable amount of time in front of a computer doing our job. And the way many of us do that job is we get the data from emails and everywhere else, and then we have about 18,000 different applications. We input stuff and make some decisions along the way. All of this was not possible to automate because it's just a huge universe of 18,000 applications and too many variations. What has changed in the last many years is with the help of AI and robotic process automation, now software bots are able to operate all applications. They look at an application, there are forms and fills, and they can execute a process end to end. So a mortgage example, a mortgage application that used to take 30 days could now, you feed all the data, it will take all the data, make decisions, type it into all applications, and in 3 minutes you're done.
Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything.